They tore down the statue of Christopher Columbus in Minnesota. I'm not sure what that has to do with Black Lives Matter or police brutality in Minneapolis. Columbus is an Italian-American icon. Columbus Day is sort of the Italian-American national day. I had the good fortune to be in New York City last Columbus Day, and I saw the parade. It's a big moment for Italian-Americans. It's sort of like their version of the Irish St. Patrick's Day, really. That's where I actually first saw Andrew Cuomo, the governor. He was in the parade. Here's Governor Cuomo talking about that.
Christopher Columbus, I understand the dialogue has been going on for a number of years. The Christopher Columbus statue represents, in some ways, the Italian-American legacy in this country and the Italian-American contribution in this country. I understand the feelings about Christopher Columbus and some of his acts, which nobody would support. But the statue has come to represent and signify appreciation for the Italian-American contribution to New York.
Well, I'm glad he's not actually throwing his own people in the garbage can this time, but I notice he's been silent on every other historical desecration and on the burning down of his prize city, New York. There's really no one who's spared by this deplatforming, cancel culture. It's like a Maoist cultural revolution. Everyone's going to get it. It'll come for you. Weirdly, a group of Hollywood B-listers did one of those awful, cringy videos where they all look into the camera and don't wear any makeup and try to be really woke. Who thinks those are ever a good idea? Here's a bunch of liberals in Hollywood denouncing themselves before they are denounced by others. They thought they would do it first.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality. Or turned a blind eye.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters,
Our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
I will not turn a blind eye. Going for a jog should not be a death sentence. Sleeping in your own home should not be a death sentence.
Playing video games with your nephew should not be a death sentence.
Shopping in a store should not be a death sentence. Business as usual should not be life-threatening. I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I will stand against hate in love. I will make my presence known.
And killer cops must be prosecuted. They are murderers. We can turn the tide. It is time to take responsibility. Call out hate. Step up and take action.
I listened to that, and you know what I thought? I thought, you actually did all those things. You were silent when you heard bigoted comments. You really were a party to all that. Oh my God, you actually are awful people. Seriously. I mean, between Harvey Weinstein pretending he was a feminist but actually being a serial rapist, and Hollywood's lovies pretending to be woke but now confessing to all this racism, it's shocking that we look up to them at all. They really are the worst people. I've never in my entire life, and I've traveled widely, I've never encountered people like that. I mean, other than Justin Trudeau, do you actually know anyone in real life who's worn blackface in that mocking way? So many times that he can't even count. I've been a lot of places, I've never even heard of it. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.